27, Kwame Inwa. Number 66, Jonah Dancer. Number 71, Stefan Sosovic. Number 72, Ethan Rosado. Number 79, Mateo Morales. Number 82, Malik Lovelace. Number 90, Luis Felipe. Number 94, Lucas Sanchez. Number 62, DJ Clark. Number 98, Mike Utley. Number 99, Jose Olga. Number 81, Josh Dupriest. Number 47, Patrick Maurice. And number 89, Kevin Melville. On the bench for Ambush 2 is head coach Corey Adamson. Let's hear it for the Ambush 2. Fans, we ask that you please stand as we honor America and celebrate its freedom and those who protect it. Please rise for the playing of our national anthem, presented by Complete Auto Body and Repair.
And welcome into M2 Soccer on MASL TV tonight. We come to you live from the Family Arena in St. Charles, Missouri, where the St. Louis Ambush 2 will face off against the Wisconsin Conquerors. Thank you for joining us for tonight's contest. I am Ethan Hannaford. Wisconsin, it has been a tough start to the season for them, a 1-6-0 record. Meanwhile, the Ambush 2 look to stay high, having won their two previous games. They have a 7-2 record overall, second in the North Division behind just the Iowa Demon Hawks. Looking forward to getting this one going underway tonight here in just a couple of minutes. As you see, the teams are on the field in their huddles, getting set to get things going in just a moment. These teams, I should say, second time they faced off here this season. Just about 6 weeks ago, it was a dominant performance for Ambush 2 that resulted in a 29, yes, you heard that right, 29-4 victory, which happened to break some M2 records, those records being most goals scored in a game as well as the largest goal differential. Pretty impressive stuff from this Ambush 2 team that you should expect to be aggressive today. We know that head coach Corey Adamson likes this team pressing just about as much as they possibly can be, so be keeping an eye out for that. Hope to see some fireworks in today's matchup, set to get underway here in just a couple of moments. The Wisconsin Conquerors, coached by Jesus Alonso, as they break the huddle and are set to get things going here in just a moment. Imari Casillas in goal for the ambush 2. On the other side, Rafael Alvarez for Wisconsin. Set to get things underway here in just a moment. Wisconsin will send it off to begin. And just like that, we are underway. Ball sent immediately to the far corner and into the hands of Casillas. Battled in the corner now, ambush 2 with it. As they'll try to open things up, ends up back with Casillas. Sending it deep now, he has a man on the near side. Felipe with it now. Trying to set something up here for the ambush 2. Back to Felipe, and he'll sub out. Morales off the wall, shot up. Great save there by the Conquerors. Stays no score for the time being. Back to Morales. They'll look to reset. Utley now on the near side. Up the wall to Sarkevich. It's taken away. Back with ambush, the 2. Sarkevich now trying to put something on. Gives it off. Didn't go with it now, and they'll look to reset again. Up the wall it goes, and still with ambush 2, and now taken away. The Conquerors looking to run here, but ambush 2 will hold on to possession, doing a nice job early controlling the pace of play. To the far corner. Trying to center it here. Off the wall, and almost ends up in the back of the net. Nice job there by Alvarez, keeping that one out and preserving the tie for the time being. Just underway here at Family Arena. No score between the St. Louis Ambush 2 and the Wisconsin Conquerors. Whistle blown, foul called against the Conquerors as Morales draws it. Sent to the near side. Off the wall, deflection opportunity here. No shot put on yet. Felipe with it, gives it off. Goes wide there on the shot attempt, and ambush 2 will reset. Felipe with it now, puts a shot on just over the crossbar. Just missed their great opportunity. Now an opportunity, 1-2, and it's in. Morales, Mateo Morales gets the ambush 2 on the board. Beautiful touch there from Felipe Batalla. And all that Morales had to do was put a touch on it and send it in. 1-0 our score. This is an ambush 2 team that averages 12 goals per game. They stay mighty aggressive. Casillas now getting involved in the attack. Carrying it across the midfield line. Good ball to the corner. Ngwa with it now at midfield. Far side, Spencer with it now, facing some pressure. He's able to give it off to Lovelace. Good opportunity here now, shot just above the frame. Rosado with it now. He'll give it back to Ngwa. Upfield, he finds his man. Numbers for ambush 2. Rosado with it. Uses the wall. Good touch there. Has an opportunity. Numbers for ambush 2, and they put it in the back of the net. 2 goals in just under 5 minutes there. That time it was Malik Lovelace. We talked about it in the brief pregame. This Ambush 2 team likes to play fast, and they have shown it here in the first couple of minutes. Mercado has it stripped away from him. Great save by Alvarez. Wisconsin trying to clear it. Not able to do so, and now with possession in the defensive zone. Crew with it now. Sends it back, and they'll reset. Mulville with it. Thought about sending it deep instead. Plays it safe. Sends it upfield where it's cleared away by the Conquerors. Now a bad touch here in numbers for Wisconsin. Off the wall in the corner, picked up by Casillas. Chucks it deep, finds Sanchez. Good touch here. Felipe. Touched by Wisconsin. Trying to hold on to possession, trying to build anything here. A young Conquerors team lacking the experience, the strength, the maturity that this Ambush 2 team has. New team in the league. Just their first season in the M2. Morales with it. Gives it off to Felipe at midfield. Sends it to the far corner. Morales, or Lovelace, excuse me. Has it knocked away. And a foul there. Spencer knocked down. Near midfield. Hezekiah Letso committing the foul. Back to Casillas. Sends it deep. One bounce and right into the hands of Rafael Alvarez. Lovelace off the wall. Back into the hands of Alvarez. Deep throw to the near side. Wisconsin with possession now. First time that they've held it on their defensive side in the game, and it's taken away back to St. Louis, where they'll hold on to it. Send it to the near side off the wall. Sarkevich has it taken away from him. Good job here by the Ambush, putting pressure on Wisconsin. Haven't been able to create anything so far here in the early minutes of this one. over halfway through the first quarter. 2-0 our score. Ambush 2 on top. And we'll have our first official timeout just over halfway through quarter number 1. 2-0 our score, 6:34 to play here at the Family Arena. All Ambush 2 early in this one. Ethan Hanford, pleased that you are tuned in for tonight's contest. Compared to the last time that these two teams played, much better in what we have seen from Wisconsin so far. As previously mentioned, 29-4 back on December 21st between these two teams. So obviously the goal is always to come away with a win. In this case, if you're Wisconsin, you have to be looking at what you've seen through the first half of this first quarter and saying, okay, let's build off of it. Let's see where we can go from here. Let's see if we can get one and get back into this ball game. Ambush 2 coached by Corey Adamson, who we know loves to have his team on the attack. You can see him there in the huddle with his team, drawing something up here to try and add on to the 2-0 lead that Ambush 2 holds early in this one. For the Wisconsin Conquerors, players to be keeping an eye out for perhaps. Hezekiah Maletso, we've said his name a time or two, leads the team in goals. 6 of them, 7 points in total as we're back underway. Conquerors give it away here. Have it back on their defensive side. Sent back upfield, and now Ambush 2 numbers if they want to use it. Instead, they'll slow things down. Excellent job so far early in this one, building possession. A little bit of miscommunication there for Ambush 2 as looked like Patrick Serace thought that was going to get the 1-2. But we reset. Utley with it. Sends it downfield to Sanchez, who gives it away back to Utley. Back to the Conquerors here. Mercado gives it off. Letso with it now, sends it near corner. Opportunity to try and get a shot off, but nice defense there from Ambush 2. Camargo being pressured and now going the other way. Lovelace gives it off. Morales, shot on. Too hot and too high. We remain at 2-0. Felipe with it now, gives it off. Rosado holding on to it. Lovelace receives it, gives it off to Rosado, where they'll set things up. Felipe gives it off to Dancer. Shot put on with the left, deflected in front. And now Wisconsin looking to run here instead. Rosado gets a piece of it. Ends up with Dancer, and he'll give it off to Amari Casillas. Takes a weird bounce off the wall there. Looked like Ambush could have taken it back over, and now they do. DePriest with it. Gives it off to Spencer. And he'll slow things down. Good look there. And it ends up in the back of the net. $3-0 now with 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. They stay hot. DJ Clark with the goal. Wearing 97 today, normally wears 62. Taken away by Ambush 2. Crew with it. Shot on, deflected in front. To the far corner, Sanchez putting pressure on Ranta, and now opportunity. Utley! The one touch adds on to the lead. Mike Utley getting in on the offensive action and makes it 4-0. Great touch there from Sanchez to get it to the open Utley, and now Morales, Lovelace, Clark are joined by Utley. The 4 goals early in this one. 2 minutes to play in quarter number 1. Ambush 2 leading this one as it'll take a bounce into the seats. See if you can try to just build anything here if you're Wisconsin. Try and stop the bleeding. Trailing early in this one. Build some positive momentum in a whistle blown. Foul called on Ambush 2. Good touch put on there by Mercado, but it ends up right in the hands of Casillas. Taken away here, opportunity, but not able to get a shot off there. Samuel Caston. Shot put on here by Lovelace, just a bit too high. Keeper Alvarez may have gotten a hand on it now, but it doesn't matter because they kept it on the attack and they add on to the lead. 5-0 the score now. Morales with his second. Mateo Morales having himself quite the start to this one. Came into today's game with not a lot of time. His first 2 goals of the season showing out early in this one. Caston sends it to the corner. It's taken away by Ambush 2 and go with it. They're looking to run. Good through ball sent it to Priest. Deflection off the wall, and Ingua sends this one into the netting. Under a minute to play in quarter number 1. 5-0 our score. The Ambush 2 on top. Trying to get something going here with under a minute to play. Handed in by Milezzo to Fernandez, and the first shot of the game put on there by the Conquerors. Milezzo facing a couple of guys on the far side and just a bit too physical from Ambush 2, so they'll get a free kick right on top of the BJC logo with 28.7 to play in quarter number 1. Sends it to the near side, Camargo. And into the hands of Casillas. Utley takes a bounce into the stands near midfield. And with 14.8, fresh legs coming on for both teams. Ball sent up on the free kick. Back to Milezzo. Taken away. Felipe with it now. 2 seconds, 1 second. No shot able to be sent off in time, and that ends the first quarter of play. It was all Ambush 2 in that one. 5-0 our score. And kudos to Corey Adamson because it all got going right after that timeout called with about 6.5 minutes. 3 goals scored in the last 6 minutes. We'll take a quick break. And when we return, more action right here on MASL TV.
Restore Chesterfield is the official wellness and recovery center for your St. Louis Ambush. We offer cryotherapy, IV drips, hyperbaric oxygen, and so much more. Bring your ticket stub and receive 1 free core service. See you soon, and go Ambush!
We return with more M2 soccer on MASL TV. St. Louis Ambush 2 leading the Wisconsin Conquerors by a score of 5-0. It was all St. Louis in that first quarter. Kudos to Wisconsin. They were able to slow that offensive attack for the most part in the first 7 to 8 minutes of the first quarter, but then an official timeout called, and Corey Adamson took advantage of that, and they were able to draw something up, get something going, and from that moment on, added on, scoring 3 goals in the last 3 minutes and 2 seconds of that first quarter. DJ Clark, Mike Utley, and Mateo Morales all putting it into the back of the net, and we are set to get underway in just a moment. As you can see, Jesus Alonso there coaching up this young Wisconsin roster, trying to just get something going here. It was practically all ambush 2 when it comes down to possession in quarter number 1. It'll be interesting to see if Wisconsin is able to adjust here any in the second frame before they head into the half for the locker room break. And now an opportunity for Lovelace. Good save there by Alvarez. Lovelace had no one between him and the goalie. So it looks like it's Giovanni Alonso, that's matching up against Lovelace and has had his hands full so far and just lost his man there in that moment. Perhaps some ball watching. Lovelace with an assist to his name so far. Now a free kick opportunity here for ambush 2. Lucas Sanchez on the near side. And the defensive wall able to get a foot on it. And it's knocked out of bounds. And you can see there on your screen on the right side, the ball is stuck in the netting behind the wall. And they'll bring a new one into play. And the ball is retrieved. So Sanchez will send this one up and gives it off to Morales, and he's not able to get a touch on it. Sent right back in by Casillas. Felipe to Morales on the far side. He's tripped up. It'll be a free kick for St. Louis. Just over a minute here into quarter number 2. Ambush 2 on top, 5-0. Shot put on with the left, just wide to the right by Lovelace. Felipe wraps around the boards there. No one able to send it home, though, and now Wisconsin trying to run a little bit here. Camargo had it taken away for just a moment, but a little bit too physical there. Correction, that was Camargo who committed the foul, so nice job there by Utley and Felipe. This one sent to the far corner, Morales. Pressuring Alonso. Well, as we've mentioned, has had his hands full here. He's able to somehow sneak that one away from the attack for ambush 2. And now Wisconsin has numbers for a moment if they can take advantage of it. They're not able to do so. Turnover there for Lohr. Felipe with it. Tried finding Spencer, but the pass was behind him. Still ends up with Felipe. Tries sending it up. Knocked away by Mercado. And they'll reset. Utley with it at midfield. Sends it back to Casillas. So calm with the ball. Gives it off to Millville. A little bit too hot on the through ball, and now we move the other way. Nice job there by Rosado, blocking out the attacker for Wisconsin. Kept St. Louis with possession for just a moment, and they have it back now as the ball ends up on the Wisconsin bench. And now Millville will send it up the wall, and it'll roll right into the hands of Alvarez. Quickly tosses it out. Sent down the line, and it is off the chest of Fernandez. But they say that he was fouled, so they end up with possession still as this one's knocked out of bounds. Into the seats. St. Louis Ambush playing prior to this a 13-6 victory over the Milwaukee Wave. Several fans still in the crowd hanging around here at the Family Arena. We're glad that you're tuned in for this one so far. 5-0 our score, as it's been a silent first 3.5 minutes or so of the second quarter. And go with it now. We'll send it upfield, finds Felipe, good touch. Right back to Sanchez, I'm sorry. And Patrick Cerisa, you see there, going onto the bench, had a good opportunity to try and put a shot off, and instead, getting a shot off on the setup there was Mason Crew, who puts it into the back of the net, making it 6-0 St. Louis. I said quite literally 16 seconds ago that it had been a quieter start to the quarter for the Ambush 2. That did not take long for them to tack on, make it 6-0, and now they have numbers going the other way. Clark sends it into the box. Lovelace puts it in. Goals just a few seconds apart here in the second quarter, make it 7-0. And just show how explosive this Ambush 2 team is. You see the smile on the face of Lovelace right there, Malik Lovelace. Hard to not be smiling the way that this Ambush 2 team is playing early in this one. Still 11 minutes to play in quarter number 2. Dancer with it now. He'll hold on to it at midfield. Tries sending it forward. He's able to do so. Felipe gives it off to Utley. Dancer back with it now. Against the wall. Finds Morales, back to Utley, a 1-2 to Morales. Good ball movement here from St. Louis. Felipe now thought about putting a shot on, elects to hold it now. Gives it back to Utley. Orchestrating things here. Dancer will put one on, just wide right. Boy, that had some velo on it. Morales at midfield, gives it back to Felipe. Go with it. Finds Morales. Tried the 1-2 there. Unsuccessful. Back to Wisconsin. Taken back immediately by Felipe. Just so strong on the ball. Trying to get fancy. Shot blocked, and it'll make its way to the Ambush 2 bench, where it'll be a free kick. Quick off the restart. And they'll reset. And go with it. Back to Dancer. Or correction, Clark. Rosado up to Felipe. Spencer now. Try to make a run with it. Gets to the corner. Taken away by Wisconsin. Now to the far side. Conquerors have something here if they can locate. Now an opportunity. Great save by Casillas. 2 saves, and he's able to dive on top of it. Oh my goodness. Mark Casillas, holy cow. And now I think that the argument being made that perhaps he was outside of the box when he jumped on top of it. Boy, it's close. A blue card is handed out, it looked like. Or I thought at least for a moment that a blue card was drawn. Now whistle blown here. Awaiting the decision here from the referees. Regardless, a phenomenal attempt here from Amari Casillas, and he will go to the box. So Jose Agas will enter in here. Ranks in the top 5 in goals against average and save percentage in M2. So Mercado will have an opportunity here to put one in the net, and he's not able to succeed. Off the right post. By far the best chance for this Wisconsin Conquerors team early in this one. Beat the netminder, but was not able to send it to the back of the net. You see on the replay here, great attempt. Close, but no cigar. So Casillas and DePriest in the box for ambush 2. As you can see, Agas arguing, pleading his case. It looks like they're going to set it back down here for another free kick opportunity. Looks like Milezzo will take it. Hands it off, and the shot put on right to Jose Agas. Quickly trying to move fast here. Good throw to Dancer. He stays strong with it. It's off the crossbar. Great attempt with the left. Pace is picked up here off the restart. And it'll slow back down with the ball making its way into the seats. Caston with it. Gives it off to Milezzo. Now Camargo. First time here in this quarter that they've been able to build some possession. Good save there by Ogaz. Alonso now. Touching with the right. Gives it off to Milezzo. And now it's taken away. Spencer trying to get around him, and whistle blown, foul call. Nice job there by Spencer. DJ Spencer. Defense turning into a little bit of offense, and the foul called, and I believe a blue card was drawn. And as a result, Hezekiah Milezzo will head to the box. And a yellow card as well. He's got a little bit too physical. Pleading his case with the referee there to no avail. So they'll be without their leading goal scorer here for the next 5. So 2 in the box for both teams currently. Just under a minute here on the power play. Shot put on there by Ogaz. It hits the crossbar. Just a bit too high on that one. Leads to it taking a seat in the seats. And now an official timeout called. 49 seconds remaining on the power play. 7-0 is our score. St. Louis Ambush 2 on top, 7-0. Goals in the second quarter so far. coming from Malik Lovelace. Had that one fed from DJ Clark and Mason Crew. He was assisted by Lucas Sanchez. So far, shots favoring Ambush 2, 16-6. You see there, Jesus Alonso coaching his young squad. He's trying to see if he can get anything going here for this Wisconsin squad. Small roster as well compared to the home Ambush too. After the first timeout in the first quarter, we saw Ambush 2 respond in a very good way. 3 goals in the last 3 minutes of that quarter. We'll see if they're able to respond in a similar fashion here. With just under 8 to play, we'll get things back up and going here in a moment. And just a reminder, just under a minute here on the man advantage for St. Louis coming out of the break. Of course, Casillas in the box for St. Louis, and that's why you see Jose Ogaz responsible for 5 of the 7 wins for this Ambush 2 squad so far this season. After today's game, they'll have 2 remaining, 1 more at home, and that's on Friday, March 28th against these very same Wisconsin Conquerors. In between them, next Saturday, be on the road facing off against the Iowa Demon Hawks at Buccaneer Arena. That'll be a big one. Top 2 teams in the division. Last time that those 2 teams faced, a 10-3 victory for Iowa. So St. Louis will have their hands full. But right now, it's Wisconsin with their hands full. Dancer with it now on the takeaway, gives it off. Shot put on, nice save there by Alvarez. There was Patrick Soros with the shot with the left. 15 here on the man advantage. Utley for Soros. Felipe turns. Knocked away. And that will send us back to even numbers. Shot put on from Ogaz. Good save there from Alvarez. Keeping the deficit at 7. Ball lands out of bounds. And Casillas will exit the box. Ogaz will head to the bench. Job well done there in the limited time for Jose Ogaz. And Murray Casillas will head back out, having a strong showing so far early in this one. Free kick here. Felipe, shot on, it was blocked in front. And now whistle blown. Foul against St. Louis. I believe it was on Felipe there. .15 seconds here on the man advantage for St. Louis. Trying to put damage control on here. And we're back to even. Dancer. Sends it up, finds Felipe. 1-2 here. Dancer not able to locate the shot, but St. Louis still with possession. Up the wall, Sarkevich, too hot to handle for him, still with possession. Back to Sarkevich. Now Mulville with it. In the midfield circle, near side. Sanchez puts one on, off the crossbar. Lands right back to Clark. And they'll try again. Mulville into the box, knocked away by Wisconsin, and they'll clear it out. Goes right back to Casillas. He'll carry it to midfield, or he'll send it up to Sarkevich. Thinks about putting a shot on, and too hot. Hits off the frame. Clark. Locks, loads, no good on the shot. Couple of opportunities now. St. Louis just laying it on right now. Haven't been able to put one in here since the timeout. Ingua with it. Now to Clark. Back to Ingua. He lays it up to Lovelace. Now Soros with it. St. Louis doing an excellent job today of just holding on to possession. And now Crew putting a shot on, and it's in. 8-0. Ambush 2 lead. Mason Crew. His second of the night. Great layoff there from Lovelace. And as I was saying, St. Louis doing a phenomenal job of controlling possession, and you can tell that it is just tiring out this Wisconsin roster who is constantly playing on the defense and really haven't been able to put anything together. Utley with it now. Ambush 2 right back in possession. Morales with Utley commanding things now. Carrying it into the offensive zone. Tries finding Crew off the wall. Instead, Mateo Morales will send it into the netting and will restart. Wisconsin with possession. Camaro sends it up, and it's taken away. Back to Dancer. Morales tried sending one in, and it's off of the foot of Sergio Camargo, an own goal. And things just keep getting worse and worse for Wisconsin. Nothing that the keeper, Rafael Alvarez Hernandez, can do about that one. (9-0) with under 3 to play in quarter number 2. Hernandez with it now. Bounces off the wall, and Casillas gets a little bit of action. It's been quiet for him here the last couple of minutes. Felipe, oh, great touch to Rosado, puts it on, wide right. Trying to clear, but Mulville, a nice job getting possession back, gives it off to Felipe. Puts a shot on, but nice job by the defense for Wisconsin. Getting a foot on and impeding on it. Giovanni Alonso with it, sends it up the boards. And it'll roll right to Amari Casillas. Finds Felipe at midfield. He carries it back to Spencer. Dancer now with it. Whistle blown. And that'll be a foul on Wisconsin. Spencer a little bit slow to get up. A little bit ginger on, it looks like that left leg for a moment. I want to say that foul committed by Cody Ronta. So it'll be a free kick opportunity here for Lucas Sanchez. Wisconsin will have a two-man wall, it looks like. They touch it. Oh, brilliant touch there. Sanchez to Utley to Dancer. 10-0. Ambush 2 on top. Just a classic situation there of finding a young team ball watching, the maturity of this Ambush 2 team showing here on that setup there. (10-0) our score. Taken away by Ambush 2. They have numbers if they want them. Saris has it taken away from him. To Caston. Back to Ambush 2. Just under a minute to play here in the first half. In no rush to get anything going here. Leading by 10. Tried finding Lovelace up the boards, and now into the corner. It's back with Wisconsin. Opportunity here in the final seconds of half number 1 for Wisconsin to try and get something going. Instead, it's taken away. Lovelace puts one on with the left. Oh, what a touch off the boards, and Clark sends it home. 11-0 our score. Not sure if it was necessarily intentional there from Lovelace, but either way, it works to perfection because DJ Clark was streaking towards the box and it landed right on his foot, and they add on to this already impressive lead. 11-0 our score in the final seconds here, trying to add on another one. Instead, it'll end up with Alvarez Hernandez. The horn blows, and that will conclude half number 1. 11-0 our score. St. Louis Ambush 2 on top of the Wisconsin Conquerors for what was a dominant first half for St. Louis. Not only dominating in the goal totals, but also the shots. 25-6. Through 2 quarters. We're going to go ahead and take a break, and more coming up here in just a moment. St. Louis Ambush 2 leading this one 11-0 at the half.
Shoot! He scores!
MASL
MASL in 5, back once again. What's going on, folks? I'm Alex Bastiavansky. It is great to see you again. We got lots to get you caught up on from stuff that's gone down over the past few days. And we've got to preview what's coming up this weekend in just 5 minutes. So let's go.
I think it was just a bench warning, Tom. It looked like on Coach Stokic.
Tayo turning, shot the goal! All hail the king. He's got his first as a member of the Wave.
Frank Tayo made his debut with the Milwaukee Wave last weekend, and I'd say he made a pretty good impression, to put it mildly. The league's all-time points leader was unstoppable, racking up 4 goals, plus a helper as Milwaukee smoked Kansas City 13-3. Now, we wondered what the chemistry between him and Ian Bennett would be like. Frighteningly good, as it turns out. Beautiful assist by Bennett to Frank right there. They will be a terrifying duo. And it was a milestone day for IB26 as well. The MASL legend had 2 points, taking him over the 500 mark for his career. Congratulations to the Canadian assassin. The Wave snapped KC's 8-game winning streak in the process. Let's check in on the playoff race. St. Louis is suddenly surging. They faced Dallas, a team they're fighting for 8th spot, and absolutely teed off on them, winning 9-2. That marks the biggest margin of victory for St. Louis so far this season. They also faced Utica City, and once again, the Ambush was flexing its offensive muscle. It was Star Wars night in St. Louis, and the Force was definitely with them.
Everything else is going to change.
Oh,
Frank.
Chili on a take. Chili Willie!
They racked up 9 goals in this contest as well, holding off UCFC 9-8. And the team they are chasing for 8th spot missed a golden opportunity to pad its lead. Tacoma was hosting San Diego and just couldn't quite pull it off, losing to the Sockers 8-5. So they sat in 8th spot, but the Ambush entered this weekend with a game in hand, so they've got time to make up that difference. There are lots of great games happening this weekend. 2 huge ones include the top 3 teams in the league. Both involve KC. The Comets traveled to Chihuahua on Friday to face the first-place Savage, who they beat 5-2 back on January 25th. 2 days later, they'll be back at home against second-place San Diego. They've had 2 great games this season, those squads, with each team winning 1. Okay, your Green Drop Players of the Week: Boris Pardo in goal from San Diego, Omar Silla from Baltimore defensively, and offensively it is, yes, the King, Frank Tayo. Let's start with King Frank making his Milwaukee debut. Couldn't have gone much better. Absolutely dominant. 5 points in that massive win over the KC Comets. Defensively, Omar Silla, what a game he had against Harrisburg. Great on defense and offensively as well. 4 points, 3 goals, 1 assist in the big Baltimore win. And in goal, Boris Pardo doing what Boris Pardo does. Big saves, and he also chipped in with 2 assists in the win over Tacoma. Okay, plays of the week now.
No 6th attacker jersey has been deployed yet onto the...
Oh, from Gamboa! Oh, Noah.
It's a Reggett far post shot. Goal! It's Danny!
Lovegrove lines up the shot. Chavez now can dribble clear. 2v1 despite the numbers deficit. Here's Chavez into the attacking zone. Chavez goes on, rolls it across. Macias!
Seconds get back. Alvis fakes the shot. Rayujo slips a bit. Dantas! Checo. Diegas. Oh, my! Oh, what a blast from Diegas!
Ruggles from distance plays himself. Wallaskora, look at Drew Ruggles go. Christo tries to read it, comes off his line. Ruggles called his own number.
He's a great salesman sometimes.
A performance.
Almeida Dalu!
I doff my cap to you, good sir.
Hero now in his 11th season, the only coach in the MASL bed. Ian coming down, shot on goal! Oh, what a combination there from Ricardo to Ian. Wave leads 3-0. Point number 500 in Ian Bennett's career.
And that is going to wrap things up for today's show. But just a reminder that all throughout the MASL season, to stay up to date with everything that's going on in the league, be sure to check out their official social media outlets. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Restore Chesterfield is the official wellness and recovery center for your St. Louis Ambush. We offer cryotherapy, IV drips, hyperbaric oxygen, and so much more. Bring your ticket stub and receive 1 free core service. See you soon, and go Ambush!
Take control. Make a healthy change. Maintain a healthy weight. Exercise regularly. Don't smoke or use smokeless tobacco. Eat a healthy diet. Limit alcohol. Protect yourself from the sun and avoid tanning beds. Protect against sexually transmitted infections. Get screening tests. For more 8 Ways tips, visit siteman.woostel.edu/take control.
Daniel's experience with Conquerors is he loves putting on the jersey every Saturday. He comes out, enjoys being part of the team, playing around with the ball, learning the game from his coaches, and skills that can last him a lifetime.
You know, this is what young kids sports should be like. It should be fun, it should be engaging, it should be positive. And my son Henry, when I tell him today is Thursday, he's like, is tomorrow soccer day? It's like, no, tomorrow's Friday, and then Saturday is soccer day. For a 4-year-old to have that sort of desire to keep doing an activity, it says a lot about the program. I feel like every coach that we've interacted with, they truly enjoy working with the kids. So at the end of the practice, I make it a mission of mine to say thank you and say, hey, how is my kid doing? And they're all like, oh, he's having so much fun, and we love having him, and so it's clear that everybody involved really enjoys kids.
I love soccer so much, and just being a part of the game, being able to coach kids, and like being able to influence them like at such a young age in this great sport, it's really something.
Restore Chesterfield is the official wellness and recovery center for your St. Louis Ambush. We offer cryotherapy, IV drips, hyperbaric oxygen, and so much more. Bring your ticket stub and receive 1 free core service. See you soon, and go Ambush!
Take control. Make a healthy change. Maintain a healthy weight. Exercise regularly. Don't smoke or use smokeless tobacco. Eat a healthy diet. Limit alcohol. Protect yourself from the sun and avoid tanning beds. Protect against sexually transmitted infections. Get screening tests. For more 8 Ways tips, visit siteman.woostel.edu/take control.
Daniel's experience with Conquerors is he loves putting on the jersey every Saturday. He comes out, enjoys being part of the team, playing around with the ball, learning the game from his coaches, and skills that can last him a lifetime.
You know, this is what young kids sports should be like. It should be fun, it should be engaging, it should be positive. And my son Henry, when I tell him today is Thursday, he's like, is tomorrow soccer day? It's like, no, tomorrow's Friday, and then Saturday is soccer day. For a 4-year-old to have that sort of desire to keep doing an activity, it says a lot about the program. I feel like every coach that we've interacted with, they truly enjoy working with the kids. So at the end of the practice, I make it a mission of mine to say thank you and say, hey, how is my kid doing? And they're all like, oh, he's having so much fun, and we love having him. And so it's clear that everybody involved really enjoys kids.
I love soccer so much, and just being a part of the game, being able to coach kids, and like being able to influence them like at such a young age in this great sport, it's really something.
Welcome back to M2 Soccer on MASL TV. 11-0 our score. Quite the beatdown in half number 1 for the St. Louis Ambush 2 team, defeating the Wisconsin Conquerors as we speak. And now we'll take a look through the first half highlights there. All Ambush scoring 5 of their goals in the first quarter and 6 in the second. And in both quarters, the case being consistency, but more so an onslaught in the later minutes of each quarter. And that is how, when you look at things, we find ourselves with an 11-0 lead for Ambush 2. Goals coming so far from Mateo Morales, Malik Lovelace, DJ Clark, and then some. As we continue on here, Mike Utley, Mason Crew, Jonah Dancer, and DJ Clark. And in just a moment, we will be joined by the Ambush's general manager, Donnie Alberti, as he'll be discussing the start of this M2 League and some of the things that he and the organization are going to be working to do that are currently getting going. Very exciting stuff happening for the St. Louis Ambush, the Ambush 2, who are off to a great start this year. And now throwing on that headset, General Manager Donnie Alberti. Donnie, thanks for joining us today.
No problem. Thanks for having me. Appreciate being on there with you.
As we wait for, I think, Donnie's his audio to pick up there, we'll see if we can get him in a second. Can you hear me? Can you hear me in the headset there?
I can hear you, yeah. Can you hear me?
All right, I'm being told that your mic is up. I just can't hear you in my headset, so we'll just go ahead and we'll just go about this the old-fashioned way. So first off, thanks for joining me. Greatly appreciate it. Obviously, a lot to be excited about with the way that this Ambush 2 team performing today.
Yeah, no, they've played well all year. Today is just kind of an example of what they've been all year, and it's exciting to see these young guys come out and kind of build their resumes, if you will, you know?
And that they are doing very well today with an 11-0 lead. And we were talking here just a moment ago before getting back into things. Brand new to this general manager position. Congratulations there. And that one ends up in the back of the net. Dancer adding on to the lead. Make it a dozen now. The goal total in this one for Ambush 2 as the onslaught continues. Not a lot to complain about in today's contest for Ambush 2, and they'll get started here immediately. And as I was saying, congratulations on the new position. I'm sure exciting stuff for you as you transition into a new aspect of your career.
Yeah, no, for sure. I appreciate it. Yeah, I helped start the M2 last year, and it just kind of organically moved into this where, you know, I'm going to take more of a leadership role, and I didn't really ask for it. They just kind of came to me and said, hey, what are your thoughts? And it just, with where I'm at in my career, and it just kind of made sense for me, so.
More pressure being put on here by St. Louis. Lovelace with it now. Talk about a kid with some talent. Lovelace has been dominating all day long. And I know that you had the opportunity to coach a couple of the kids that are on this roster not dressed today during your time with Fontbonne. What do you like about this Ambush 2 roster?
Well, I think the main thing is they're just all ready to bet on themselves. They're engaged. They come to training every day. Corey's done a really good job with them. It's just exciting. It's exciting for our organization to see, hey, there's an opportunity here. We're not just going to bring you in and you're going to maybe get some reps in a M1 training. It's an actual training session that they're coming to, and it's an actual real team that these guys are, you know, they're a part of, and it helps them in their.
Ooh. Shot opportunity there for Wisconsin.
Yeah,
goes wide right.
And it helps us for an organization to, you know, develop our own players. So.
And you mentioned Corey Adamson, and just we know that he loves to attack. We know that he loves to press. This Ambush 2 team, second in the league this year in goals scored. You know, what does that say about just his coaching style and what you guys want to provide from an entertainment perspective as well?
No, for sure. Corey's style is definitely let's get after it. We're going to press and win the ball back, and then we're going to go to goal. You know, goals are exciting, right? So his team has scored a whole bunch of goals. You know, you'd like for maybe the games would be a little closer. I think we'd rather win 6-5 than you know some of the other scores. Get to see a little bit more, and I think, you know, the purpose of the M2.
And that one ends up in the back of the net. His third of the day. Mason Crew continues to impress. Boy, has he been impressive today. Or correction, that was Sorace there who put that one in the back of the net. Another impactful piece of this roster today, as things just firing on all cylinders right now for this Ambush 2 squad, leading 13-0. Well, go ahead.
No, I don't remember where I was. I can't even get a word in with these guys.
I know, it is a little bit difficult. I think we were just talking about the style of play and just how they continue to press, continue to attack.
Yeah,
and how it's an exciting product.
For sure. And, you know, at the end of the day, we're in the entertainment business here, right? So, like, we want our fans to be entertained. Goals are entertaining. But, you know, I think also it allows our fans to kind of see these guys on the way up. You know, when they get moved up, like, for instance, Luis Perez came in the M1 game today. He played M2 last year. He had 2 goals, and I don't know if he had an assist or not, but he had a really good game for us in M1, and our fans kind of knew who he was.
Dancer puts it in the back of the net, and it just keeps on pouring. You know what they say, when it rains, it pours, and right now it is pouring down on Wisconsin. Dancer puts it in the back of the net, another goal, making it 14-0, Ambush 2 on top.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of indicative of what we're about. Let's go at goal, you know, so definitely.
What was the process like? You know, you mentioned you were a big part of the startup of this, getting this thing going for this Ambush 2 squad. What did that process look like from that perspective?
So when I first got here, we brought some of these young guys in, and we really didn't have any way to, like, evaluate them or train them or work with them. They just kind of were around. And so we said, well, we need something that is specific for them. And guys like Tristan Austin, Jose, other guys that were coming in M1 training every day. We really liked them, but we didn't really get them into important reps.
Sure.
And so we started having conversations. Okay, well, what can we do? Well, there's an M2. Maybe we bring them in, and we start M2, and it allows us to train them separately. Now they're playing in situations where.
And guess who that time it was? Mr. Crew, Mason Crew, puts in his 3rd of the day, a hat trick for him. And we were just talking about him off air as well, someone that you're really excited about, a Maryville product, local kid, and he's been impressing today.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's actually his first game with us. We were going to draft him. He was going to be the first draft pick, so I had already spoke with him and everything. And then when they canceled the draft, I called him and I said, hey, why don't you just come out and play with us or what have you. He came out. He was really impressive his first couple of weeks, and then he got injured a little bit, got a little bit of a knock. And then so he just came back maybe earlier 2 weeks ago or so, but very excited about him. He's the GLVC Offensive Player of the Year. Just the kind of kid you want in. Holy smokes. The report on him is that he'll be the hardest worker we have.
Wow.
And he's kind of shown that so far. So sky's the limit for him.
No doubt about that. And right now this team continues to just press, leading 15-0, just under 5 minutes into half number 2. I'm Ethan Hannaford, currently being joined by Donnie Alberti, the GM of the Ambush. And Donnie, you know, what percentage of this team is local kids here? Do you know?
All of them.
They are all local.
All of them are local. Well, I take that back. We drafted out of the combine 3 of them, and they have moved here. Felipe here, we drafted him. He's from, I think, Chicago. I don't know, but he's moved here. We have Josh Siddick, who isn't playing today. He was supposed to play, but he's not. He's from Illinois, Southern Illinois, like Carbondale area.
Okay. Did that one sneak into the back of the net? The horn went off, but it didn't look like the referee says it did not cross. So despite the horn going off, we continue on.
That is an interesting scenario.
That one almost going in. Felipe, a rocket off the left. Thought about trying it with the right, gives it off to Lovelace.
I don't know if I've ever seen that. I think it hit all 3 posts.
It may very well have, but now Wisconsin with numbers for themselves. Hezekiah had an opportunity to do something with it there, but strong defense from Utley. What does it say? You know, you mentioned the large majority of this team local. What does that say about just the product, the soccer product overall in the St. Louis area?
I mean, St. Louis is the soccer capital of the world. There are players all over the place. Some of them just haven't been getting the right look. It says a lot about our community. It's just exciting to see some of these guys get to play in an environment like this. They would have played in, men's leagues and stuff in Veta, and that's kind of it for them. But it's neat that they get to come out here and hear the horn and get their names announced and get a real look to maybe get a real chance with the Ambush. So.
It adds excitement for these young guys. I mean, they say it in a lot of other leagues. If they will find you if you're able to perform. And it seems like this M2 league is a great opportunity for these guys to, you know, if you perform, to get looks at.
Oh, for sure. You know, and what's good for me, I was also the director of scouting, which I guess I still am, but part of my job is find players, right?
Sure.
So I get to look at this other team too.
Right.
You know, I get to watch them. We had another team in Friday and Saturday. You know, we're already looking at 2 or 3 of their players like, hey, maybe they would make sense to bring for us. We'll go back and look at my notes today and see if any of these guys make sense. You know, the goalie's made like 600 saves, so he might be one we're going to look at.
It's probably getting close to that point, as Alvarez has had his hands full all day long, and it's been a comfortable day so far for Casillas and Ogaz, who have both split some time, and Ogaz seeing time here in the second half. The FC, you guys starting up the FC Ambush Youth Club here in the fall. Tell the viewers a little bit about that and what you guys have planned for that.
Yeah, so our goal is that we're just to kind of reset here, we were an indoor soccer team, right? We play into November through April, and then we go away for 7 months. So we started talking, how do we keep ourselves relevant? How do we keep our name in the public? Still got too many men on the field. I don't know what's going on here.
That is the issue, as
well, we had 6 on the field.
Reset.
I don't know if they called it. They're going to give a blue here, I think. Yeah, definitely should give a blue to us.
We'll see who comes off.
You just have to send one to the box.
Okay.
So yeah, so you know, we want to make sure that our public and our people and our fans and everything have something to look forward to, have some reason to talk about us, something to be excited about. So we started this. We're going to talk about it, I'm sure, but we're starting a summer league team, a USL 2 team. We're basically going to go right in from our indoor season into that. That'll be playing at Missouri Baptist University, and we'll have 6 home matches there. And you know, it'll give us stuff to post about on social media. It'll give guys it'll give us a chance to see guys that we haven't seen yet. What it really does for us from a technical standpoint is allows us to create relationships with high-level players, because the USL 2 is a high-level amateur league. So we're going to create relationships with high-level Division I type players that we might be able to bring into our indoor team. And then with the youth club, we thought, well, if we have a good brand. We have a bunch of players that play with us that look to coach. A lot of them coach in some of the clubs here.
Mm-hmm.
So what can we do there? Well, let's create a youth club where we can then in the fall, that we're still in the public eye, you know, maybe we can get some of our guys coaching them. It's going to build off of the camps that Corey's done a good job of creating and helping with. And it'll give us a chance to, you know, introduce, you know, 100 or so kids to the Ambush brand, where, you know, hey, there's my coach. I wear the same jersey that these guys wear. I can go see these guys play, and they're professional players, and it's just exciting, you know. And it's the market is, there's a lot of clubs in the market. We have a pretty good idea of the target we want to go after. We want to be 77, 99, and then, you know, help those guys, help those players go on to play for some of these other clubs at the 11-11. So,
where can people find more information about the new FC Ambush?
So it's going to be on our website for sure. So it's stlambush.com. There'll be a tab on there. You'll have different little tabs you can go to for all the things that I've talked about so far.
You guys have been playing here at the Family Arena now for a long time, and been a part of the St. Charles community. Is there any ways that, you know, people may not know that you guys are involved in the community, the ways that they can see you guys get connected?
So we've done a lot of promotional, like where we go out to schools and things like that. We do have the camps. So
what a shot from Dancer. Off the
Spencer.
touch there, I believe. Or was that? No, it was Spencer there.
Yeah, from Dancer. But yeah.
From Dancer. Lays it in with ease, and that was a rocket off the right foot as they continue to add on now, making the score 16-0. And I believe that's going to lead into a timeout. But as you were saying, just about what you guys have been trying to do in the community, going into some schools, some clubs, some events.
So Corey Adamson's, he kind of really heads that up. He loves to be out in the public. He loves the fact that he's recognized as an ambush, kind of an ambush ambassador, a former player. And so he brings, guys out into schools and things like that. That's one of the things we do. We also, we have meet and greets. Like we have one at Tucano's next, I don't know when it is, next Wednesday, week from this coming Wednesday. We do another meet and greet at Bellacino's and other partners that we have. It's fun for us to be out in the community and see our fans and interact. So
a great crowd today here for the game against the Milwaukee Wave. The St. Louis, a solid win and sneaking into now in the 8th spot in the standings now as the things start to ramp up here for this playoff race. What are you be looking forward to seeing here from the Ambush team to try and sneak into the playoffs?
Yeah, for sure. It's all about getting points. We like where we're at. We shook our team up a little bit a couple weeks ago. There's nothing personal against the guys that were here, but it just wasn't working. And so we had to make a change. Right now it's continue to develop our identity, which is a little bit new than what we were. Got a little bit more speed, so we're figuring out how to play with that. For us, though, it's just the energy's good. The guys are great. We're just kind of in a good place for sure.
How do you and that's a challenging thing, right? Trying to balance out this. This is a team game. Obviously, the on-field results are important, but so much of that also happens behind the scenes in the locker room, making sure that the chemistry is a huge part of that as well. How do you balance that in your position?
It's difficult. You have a lot of conversations with guys. You sort of see how guys are interacting. You watch how guys connect with each other at training. All those things are important. We do a good. Like a couple weeks ago, we had a bowling event where we were just us. Went bowling and did some crazy bowling stuff, and those types of things sort of build your team into what they're going to be. And at the end of the day, it's on the field. It just was a good feeling today. Now we're experiencing success, so obviously that helps. But you have a lot of trips and you're traveling with each other, and you want to be. These guys they're not becoming millionaires, so they want to be around guys they like and that they enjoy and they have fun. But at the end of the day, they also have to be good at soccer. So it's the balance is there for sure. I think. Oh, that looked painful. That's going to be a problem.
That is Sergio Camargo that is down. Looks like trying to loosen up leg muscles there. Not sure what exactly he's favoring.
I think he cramped right away.
That's Brian Camargo, his brother, that is trying to shake out his legs.
They only have 11 players. They can't afford any injuries.
A thin roster that they brought here to the Family Arena in St. Charles today, and perhaps one of the, it makes, the possession has been all Ambush 2 today. It makes a situation like this where you have a thin roster, you tire a team like this out very quickly when you have to constantly be on the defense.
For sure. It's much easier to play when you have the ball. There's no doubt about that. If you're just chasing all the time, you're having to adjust and sprint to try to catch the ball, and the other team's dictating what's going on, which is what we're doing right now. This has been a tough game for the Wisconsin Conquerors for sure.
Looking forward to, looking ahead, I should say, to next Saturday. Big game for Ambush 2 facing off against the Iowa Demon Hawks on the road against the top team in the division. What would you like to see this team continue to work on to try and pull off an upset victory against the top team in the North?
Yeah, I mean, Corey's had it circled on his schedule for a while now. I just want to see him play well. The goal isn't really to win an M2 championship. The goal is to create players. That said, that's the team that last year we had the most problems with. They won, I think, 20.
Rice puts it in the back of the net, adding another one to his goal total on the day, making it now 17-0 with 4 minutes remaining here in quarter number 3.
Yeah, about the Demon Hawks team. We played them tough. We played them 4 times last year, 3 on the road, 5 times. Played them 4 on the road, 1 at home, and then again in the national championship tournament in Wisconsin, or in Wichita. They're a really good team. They have some really, really good players, and I think Corey played them really well when they went up there. It was exciting. It was a big win, probably biggest win in M2 program history so far. I think he's ready. I think they're ready to go up and get the result. It's not going to be easy. I think what I want to see is just compete. I want to see a good game. They didn't play as well when the Demon Hawks came down here. We lost 10-3. So that's a good ball.
Not able to finish there. Morales whiffed on it, still being battled for in the corner.
Mike Utley has a really good story. I think you should talk about that.
Do tell. Let's hear it.
So he's a little bit older. I think he's in his late 30s. Went into the Army Ranger. Teaches classes over at WashU. Just a really good human being. Just loves to play, and he's been out to M1 training the last few weeks here. We really like him. Not sure if he's going to be M1 material, but just really happy for him. Happy to see him to get this opportunity, this experience. The other day, Friday, he had his wife and his children were right behind the bench, and
that's awesome.
They were all loving it, and I'm sure he never thought, hey, they're going to ever get to see me play at the family arena in front of a crowd with music going and all that. That's a neat story, and it's good for someone like that who's meant a lot to our region, but also to our country, and just an overall good human being.
What can those kind of things teach some of the young guys on this team, having guys like that around?
Oh, for sure. I mean, there's a certain character building stuff that we have to do with them too, right? They see how to perform, how to compete, how to properly prepare yourself, how to just be a good person. Those things are important, because we don't want these guys to come in here and just be decent at soccer and kind of mess up the dynamic of what we have going on here. They have to be good people, and you don't get much better than Mike Utley for sure.
Very good story indeed, and he's had an effective day today. He's just such a strong presence on the back line.
Very consistent player for sure. He seems to always be in the right place. Doesn't shy away from any type of tackles, and he's just one of those. He's just a steady guy, just a steady defender, and you got to have those guys on your team.
Both of the goalkeepers also getting a little bit of time today. Ogaz here in the second half, but Casillas also had a couple of good saves there in the first half. What do you like about your goalkeepers?
So where we're at now, we have 5 in our program. Jose's been with us for 3 or 4 years now. He's at his, the sort of I'm M1. It's going to be my position in a couple of years if I can take advantage of the opportunity. Casillas is new to us this year. We also have Dom Haggard, who actually played for me at Fontbonne. He's came in this year. We're pretty solid in the keeper position, especially with the two we got on the first team. So, or them one team.
Just about 30 seconds to play here in quarter number 3. 17-0 is our score as Wisconsin just tries to get something going. And
yeah, they're tired. They have 4 guys just hanging out back. It's tough. It's
not
gotta be
had
a tough
any
scenario
success
for them.
so far. Tough situation as Lovelace puts one in the back of the net. Good touch, nice and easy. Handed to him from Felipe. 18-0 our score with 14 seconds remaining in quarter number 3. And you'll be seeing this Wisconsin team one more time to wrap up the M2 regular season here in just a couple of weeks. That one coming up on Friday, March 28th. And that'll be the final time the final opportunity, I guess you could see this this Ambush 2 team in the regular season, and a lot of reasons to be excited about this team. That will conclude the third quarter of play. The beatdown continues here at the Family Arena in St. Charles, Missouri. 18-0 is our score. Donnie, we really appreciate you joining us here for the third quarter.
No, I appreciate you having me on anytime.
Ambush General Manager Donnie Alberti joining us. We'll take a break, and when we return, fourth quarter of action, 18-0 our score.
The Post Sports Bar and Grill. Use promo code AMBUSH online for a buy one, get one free cheesesteak. The Post Sports Bar and Grill. Stay posted.
Restore Chesterfield is the official wellness and recovery center for your St. Louis Ambush. We offer cryotherapy, IV drips, hyperbaric oxygen, and so much more. Bring your ticket stub and receive one free core service. See you soon, and go Ambush!
M2 Soccer on MASL TV, 18-0 our score, heading into the fourth here at the Family Arena. I am Ethan Hannaford. Was a pleasure getting to be joined by Ambush General Manager Donnie Alberti during the third quarter of play. A lot of interesting stuff going on right now for the Ambush organization, and just was able to discuss some of the things that they're doing right now, the work that that man right there, Mr. Corey Adamson, is doing right now, and how impactful he has been for this M2 team. You love hearing that. Just I think the word that Alberti used was loves being an ambassador for the Ambush. That is great to hear. You love hearing that passion, seeing that passion, and it takes that passion to work with this young core of players, knowing that these are the guys that you're trying to develop and set up for the future of the M1. Back underway here, quarter number 4. Just a few seconds in, whistle blown, foul called as player for the Conquerors goes down. That's Manuel Mercado. Tough day for this Conquerors roster. Only came here with 11 today. And can tell that they've just been gassed for the large majority of this second half. Rice with it now, trying to get something going for St. Louis. They'll send it back to Mulville. Up to Felipe. Rice back to Felipe. Getting Ogaz involved here. He's going to take a shot, deflects in front. Off Brian Camargo. He'll get a touch on it here. Send it to the corner, Mercado. Emmanuel Mercado with it now. Being fought for in the corner still. And goes out of bounds, and Morales ended up with a leg over the wall there. Just over a minute into quarter number 4. With this victory, Ambush 2 will move to 8-2 on the season. Still a couple of points behind the Demon Hawks, who are 8-0-1. Take a replay here on Morales. A little bit of a strong touch there. Ends up with a leg over the wall. Laughs it off, and play continues on. Clark with it, right above the half moon. Now Lovelace. Crew, shot on. Great save there by Rafael Alvarez Hernandez. Been a tough day for the Conquerors goalkeeper. He's been busy. "37 shots put on by Ambush 2, 18 going in. On the other side, 8 for the Conquerors. Alvarez Hernandez with it. Gives it off to Camargo. Up the boards. Finds Jose Fernandez, has it taken away, back to Camargo. Finds Hezekiah Maletso. Now Dancer sends it back to Ogaz. Spencer up the boards, finds Lovelace. Over to Utley, who heard Alberti discuss just the story of Mike Utley. Just very, very cool story just about where he's come from, spending time in the military, now getting to be an impactful piece, saying not sure about the certainty of if he ends up with the M1 club at any point, but being able to play in front of his kids, just a feel-good story. And I'm sure mature guy, and also just a strong piece on the back line for this club. Helps having a guy like that, if you need to, can take a guy off the ball if needed. Not in any sort of aggressive way, of course. But context is good. He was in the military. He didn't play in the military. He was in the military, so you need him to do that. He can if you need him to. Felipe puts the shot on. It was deflected in front. Ends up going wide right. So after today's game, St. Louis will have 23 points in the North Division as that one ends up in the back of the net. Another one for the Ambush. Make it 19. All smiles on the home bench. We see the replay here. No stopping that one. If you're Alvarez Hernandez, Felipe puts another one in. And the dance. Look at those pearly whites. Show them off, boys. A lot of reason to today. 19 of 38. Ending up going in the back of the net. What might be the craziest part is that was technically Felipe's first goal of the day. He's been involved in a lot of them. Been a huge piece of why St. Louis has had success today, just keeping the pressure on and controlling possession. A goal and an assist to his name. Morales with it now. Numbers for St. Louis, gives it off to Morales. Sarkevich with it. Ogaz getting involved here in the action. Dancer. Deflected in front. Whistle blown, foul called. And that will be on Mateo Morales. Wraps up the boards, and another whistle blown, a foul called. I think Clark saying that should be a card, but doesn't look like they're going to give one. Under 9 minutes to play, 19-0 our score. So St. Louis will still be 2 points behind Iowa, so it really is a situation of you control your own destiny next weekend, heading on the road, Buccaneer Arena, an opportunity for first place in the North Division for this Ambush 2 squad. Shot put on, great foot save there. A kick save, I should say, from Alvarez Hernandez. Got to credit the effort that he is putting in there in goal today. Another one for him as he pounces on top of that one. And with the loss, Wisconsin will fall to 1-7-0, just 3 points on the season. There it is, number 20, Lovelace. Nice touch there. Clark feeding it to him with the left. Had to get down and dirty a little bit. And he adds another one to his goal category today. Make that 4 for Malik Lovelace. Yes, 4. Timeout called, or correction, the official timeout, I should say. And at this point, see the situations for both these teams right now. Jesus Alonso, yes, doing some coaching, but this is more so an opportunity just for his team to breathe, try and catch their breath, finish out this game. On the other side, Corey Adamson still pressing, still taking every opportunity to coach this squad. Find any area that you can improve. (20-0) our score. Second of 3 matchups between these two teams this season. The first one just before Christmas, 29-4. And obviously plenty of time left for this Ambush 2 team to put some more in the back of the net. But the thought of 29 goals, it's just absolutely astonishing that they were able to put together that kind of offensive performance. And they are just a little bit over 2/3 of the way to that goal total from the first game. Getting ready to get back up and going here in just a moment. Whistle blown, foul called here as Utley will start things. Gives it off to Ogaz. Gonna have a little fun here, taking himself as he crosses over midfield. Gives it off to Ingua. Just gonna find Utley. Gives it away. Mercado with the interception. Now Camargo. To his brother Brian. Room to work here. He's going to put a shot on just over the crossbar. Probably the second best opportunity of today's game for Wisconsin. Of course, the first one being the penalty shot that they were not able to finish. Alonzo gives it away. Back to Wisconsin. Lee with it, puts a shot on. Mercado right into the lap. Jose Ogaz. Great job there. Possession handling there by Felipe as they maintain possession, leading 20-0. Perhaps the attack is slowed down a little bit for St. Louis here since coming out of the timeout. Ogaz shot on, deflected away in front. Colville to the far side. Header put on, wide left. Sanchez now shot on, high again. As I say that, perhaps they've slowed down the offensive onslaught, the pressure. They put 3 shots on in 15 seconds. All of them just missing. Ogaz. To Morales. Mulville will set things up for the ambush 2. Back to Ogaz. Shot put on, Clark just misses, and this one takes a seat in the seats. Tell you what, if that shot would have made contact with someone, could have taken someone's head off there from Clark. Lovelace with it. In the center circle. Gives it off to Spencer. Mulville with it, gives it to Ogaz. Shot put on, blocked away. I tell you what, they are eating some shots today. Wisconsin is that last one. Sergio Camargo. Clark. Blocked again. Ogaz. Caught in a bad position here. Nice job, though, by Clark playing back and telling his team to reset, get back with them here. Gives it off to Spencer. Finds Sarkevich. Up to Clark. Tried the 1-2, but not enough on it. And now Wisconsin has numbers. See if they can get something going here. Knocked away off the boards on the far side. And back to St. Louis. Lovelace to Spencer. Through ball. Dancer in the corner. Shot put on, no good. Sends up wide right. Under 3.5 to play here in quarter number 4. Opportunity here, and it's in. Wisconsin is on the board. Jose Fernandez. Good finish, and Wisconsin will be able to walk away with some level of positivity today, knowing they were able to get on the board in the final minutes and Jose Ogaz not very happy with the goal let in there, barking at his team a little bit. It would have been just the second shutout of the season in the M2 if they would have been able to achieve it and hold on for another 3 minutes. Utley with it. Ingua now. Crew. Rice. To Priest, I'm sorry. Back to Ingua. Ogaz. Under 2.5 to play. Ambush 2 up 20-1 now. Jose Fernandez, the lone goal scored just moments ago for Wisconsin. Shots are 43-10 in favor of Ambush 2. Ogaz. He might try to put another one on here. Instead, he lays it off to Sorois. And they'll reset. Crew. To Felipe, far side. Headed in the air. Back to Felipe. Crew. Shot up, put on, deflected away. .123 to play. Be a free kick here. On the near corner for Sanchez. Great save. Kick save by Hernandez once again. Obviously not a day to remember for Wisconsin, but they have done a great job trying to weather the storm in goal. Great effort shown today by Arise Hernandez. Oh, yeah. Ogaz putting a shot on just a little bit too high over the crossbar. 30 seconds to play. Dancer tried the bicycle kick. Ends up in the hands of Alvarez Hernandez. Now numbers for Wisconsin. Great job by Ingua. He gets back. Prevents the shot opportunity. Fernandez with it as Wisconsin tries to finish with the final goal of the game. Morales to Felipe. 3, 2, and that will end it. The final buzzer blows, and this ball game has come to a close. 20-1, the final score. The St. Louis Ambush 2 are winners in this one, defeating Wisconsin. As mentioned, final score 20-1. They outshoot Wisconsin 46-10. Multiple standouts in this one. Malik Lovelace with 4 goals. Mason Crew had 3 as well in this one. A lot of positives to take away from this one. And if I know anything, I know that Corey Adamson is going to be continuing to look for areas, opportunities to continue improving this game. 2 games left on the regular season schedule for the Ambush 2. They'll head to Iowa to face the Demon Hawks next Saturday, 7:35 start in that one, and that will be for first place in the North Division. that will conclude our coverage of tonight's ball game. St. Louis Ambush 2 winners in this one over the Wisconsin Conquerors, 20-1 the final score. From Ethan Hannaford, I say so long from the Family Arena in St. Charles, Missouri.